Good morning. Welcome to the Weather Desk. I'm meteorologist Craig Moeller reporting to you now, bringing you the Weather Desk with today's top weather headlines from our 13 News Now studios in Southeast Virginia. Of course, we don't just focus on Hampton Roads, the southeast part of Virginia and northeast North Carolina. That's our broadcast area. But with the Weather Desk, we take a look at stories from all across the country, around the world. We take a look into space, and we're advancing some stories today that we've been covering for the past couple of days as we've gotten more information in. So a lot to break down for you today. Let's take a look at our headlines and some of the things that we're going to be covering. The flood cleanup in Hawaii continues, and what a mess for the folks out in our 50th state. They've been dealing with the torrential rain, and again, the flooding has been a huge issue, not just for two-legged residents of Hawaii, but for our four-legged friends as well. Hawaiian Pet Rescues, we're going to have an update on how things are going there. Several pets needed to be rescued from that flood water as well. In addition to that, we're going to update you on the National Cherry Blossom Festival. The blossoms yesterday were at a level 4. They are more in bloom now, so they've gone from 4 to 5. We'll talk about that and what's going on for the upcoming weekend. And we're going to check out our local Virginia Beach blossoms as well. We've got a beautiful cherry blossom festival right here in the 757 in Virginia Beach, and it may be something if you don't want to take the trip up to D.C., you don't want to mess with the crowds, you can enjoy some spectacular cherry blossoms right here in Hampton Roads. In addition to that, we're going to have the latest on the offshore wind farm. Little change here, and the wind farm now producing energy for parts of Hampton Roads, and we're going to show you that. We'll let you know how things have changed, and we've got more on that Texas meteorite that hit a home there. We have a full story now and more reaction from the homeowners dealing with that. A lot of folks going, huh? Could there be more? What's going on? So we'll show you all of that coming up in just a bit. Right now, though, we're going to start off with Hawaii. And you'll notice right away, looking at the most recent satellite images, we're back to beautiful weather here in Hawaii. So we'll let you know they've got better weather now for cleanup, and that cleanup is underway in Hawaii after the island got slammed with back-to-back storms. Several communities got up to 3 months worth of rain, and that all came within one 24-hour period. Chelsea Davis shares how one family in Maui is picking up the pieces this morning.
Heard a thunk, and then we thought it was just this basketball net, and then we came over here and found that entire stone wall. So it was from there to there, had just came flat, and the water was flowing. It was all the way up.
Donna Pullman describes what happened to her generational family home in Eel Valley on Friday the 13th. She captured this video of the relentless Wailuku River charging through her property that once belonged to her tutu.
The saddest was my son, poor thing, because he pretty much lost everything.
Donna says there are about 8 inches of mud throughout the entire first floor of their home, ruining all of her son's belongings.
Oh, the kitchen, his bathroom, you know, it's all damaged, as you can see. But at least we've done our best to somewhat mitigate, which is what we're still doing in here. And then we'll start the remodeling after that.
Donna says many of their possessions ended up down the road.
You're not going to believe this. The first thing I found, like almost 30 yards into the neighbor's yard, the first thing I found was this, still in a picture frame. I know I'm going to get a little emotional. This is the first photo of my mom and me. This exact picture Red Cross had given to my dad in Vietnam to tell him he had a baby girl.
So while the Maui community works together to try to restore the powerful Wailuku River, and the Pullman Ohana works to protect their property from future floods, she's grateful for what they didn't lose.
We lose things, but it matters. Our life is the most important. We can replace material things, but we can't replace ourselves.
Now, animal shelters across the island have also been busy in the days following the storms. Volunteers have been helping rescue animals who got stranded by the floodwaters. Malilani Richardson reports from Oahu.
Today's flooding on Oahu's North Shore stranded people and pets, but thankfully, Lucky the dog was saved. Chris Casey, an animal protection officer with the Hawaiian Humane Society, is one of many helping rescue and feed animals in the floodwaters.
You know, it was definitely intense being in waist-deep water, but just, you know, my main concern is that we were able to at least distribute food or any kind of care, any services that animals needed. Field 5 to dispatch.
On Monday, it's his 7th straight day of work, and he's with Josh Carey, the American Humane Society's National Director for Rescue. In the muddy agricultural fields of Mokuleia,
Here's some dried food.
the team found a farm worker whose dogs needed food. But then the Humane Society's vehicle got stuck in the mud. The team needed help themselves. So a group of farm workers pushed them out.
So literally minutes after the agricultural workers and the Humane Society workers got together to push the truck out, then they got word that some puppies needed rescuing. Apparently the mother died, and so now they're gonna go in there, get some puppies and take them to safety.
Casey and Carey went in to pull out the puppies, and the farm worker is full of gratitude.
I feel so good, especially if you're rescuing these cute little babies right here. Just brings joy to my heart.
This is the goal, is to be able to help the community and the animals. It just shows the community, they come together for each other no matter what.
Give them some treats.
It's all in a day's work, and then it's back out to save and feed more furry friends. On the North Shore, Mahialani Richardson, Hawaii News Now.
And such a reminder that, again, these storms really have an impact on all living creatures, not just humans. So good to see those puppies being rescued. It's also good to see, again, the improvements over Hawaii. I want to show you kind of the bigger picture. And yesterday, if you were watching, I had the storm track here. There was still rain across Hawaii. This has been a very active track with that atmospheric river feeding into the northwest U.S. That was the position yesterday. As we advance to today, you can see the pattern has shifted now just a little bit, and Hawaii getting a break from the storms there as this digs a little farther to the south and then lifts back up again, not quite directly up into Seattle, but a little farther to the south of that into Oregon, and then it dives back here across the southeast. You remember we had that cold front come through yesterday morning, and now that frontal boundary is well to our south. So while the pattern has shifted here a little bit, it's diving down. It's now south of our area, and we're going to see high pressure taking over. So that's why it's so much cooler here in Hampton Roads. It's also cooler up in the D.C. area. And I want to talk to you about this. We're going to head up to D.C. right now, where the National Cherry Blossom Festival is underway. Check it out. Hundreds of cherry blossom trees that line the tidal basin are getting ready to hit the peak bloom. The National Park Service says warm weather over the weekend pushed the trees to stage 5 of the blooming process. There are 6 total stages, so they're almost there. Let's take you live out to the tidal basin right now, and you can see, look at how gorgeous those trees are. Again, the sun kind of dimmed with a little bit of cloud cover, but we're going to see a lot of sunshine across the mid-Atlantic today. It really looks good. Again, the trees are expected to hit peak bloom between March 29th and April 1st. That's when 70% of the blossoms are open, and it can last for several days. Now, if you want to take part in the celebrations, the festival runs until April 12th. And I can tell you from experience, for me and my family, it's worth the drive to go up and check that out. Now, you may not want to go that far north. Maybe you're like, I don't want to deal with the Beltway traffic. I don't want to deal with all the congestion and the craziness. Guess what? Hampton Roads has its own Cherry Blossom Festival, and it is awesome. So Virginia Beach getting ready to celebrate the cherry blossoms right here. The annual festival kicks off at Red Wing Park on Friday and runs through April 3rd. These pictures were snapped this past Friday when the trees were at stage 5 in the blooming process. The city expects them to hit peak today, which will last 4 to 5 days. And keep in mind, if you plan on heading out to see them, you could expect heavy traffic on General Booth Boulevard while the festival is going on. But again, so beautiful to check that out. And, you know, with all of this comes the peak of the allergy season, and that's what pollen levels are really starting to climb. We've had them moderate to high for the past couple weeks. They've been high over the last week. Yesterday, some of the pollens were starting to reach that extreme level. Today, juniper, birch, and sycamore are all high. So again, we're seeing the pollen in the air. We're going to deal with this. You're starting to see more and more of that pollen collecting on the cars, windshields, the hood of your car, and you might notice that kind of yellowish green deposit on it. That's the pollen out there. Now, if you're experiencing allergy symptoms, including itchy eyes, scratchy throat, of course, sneezing, here's a few steps you can take to get a little bit of relief. Avoid pollen traveling into your home. Make sure you're getting a good scrub in the shower to get the pollen off of your skin and out of your hair. And if you're using a nasal spray, doctors say to point it towards your ears instead of straight up your nose. I didn't really know that. I think that's an important thing. So you point it towards your ear if you're using a nasal spray versus just shoving it up your nostril and giving it a go. All right, well, the pollen is being kind of stirred up with our dry conditions now and the windy conditions. Take a look at the peak wind gusts today here in Hampton Roads. We've had gusts of 35 at Norfolk and Virginia Beach. This was earlier this morning, but we still had these types of wind gusts, again, stirring up the pollen that's out there. We'll check a few more locations as we take a look at the recent wind gusts. We're still getting some gusts. 33 miles per hour down at Manio, 28 mile per hour gusts there in Norfolk, up at Tangier Island, a gust to 25. And as we take a look, Virginia Beach at Oceana still with a 30 mile per hour gust and a gust to 37 down at Duck. So we do have the windy conditions still out there. And we talk a lot about the winds and the wind fields here. You can see the Euro here with the wind gust potential as we go later today. Things will ease a little bit, should go light overnight, but the winds are going to pick back up again late Wednesday into Thursday. You see those winds getting back up there. We have some of the best locations just offshore for wind and wind energy. And Dominion Energy says the Coastal Virginia Offshore Wind Project is now delivering power to the Virginia grid. Now, you may remember earlier this year, the project was put on hold after the Trump administration froze 5 offshore wind projects on the East Coast, citing national security concerns. States and developers sued and a judge issued an injunction. The project is expected to be finished early next year. All right, we are going to take a short break. Coming up in just 2 minutes, we're going to talk more about the severe weather outlook, the outlook for Hampton Roads, and we'll hear from a woman who says part of a meteor spotted in Texas came crashing through her roof. That's after this. Welcome back to the Weather Desk. I'm meteorologist Craig Moeller. We're going to take a look nationally at what's going on. Nothing crazy right now. We've got some light snow with some moderate pockets across the lower peninsula of Michigan, back over Lake Michigan. That'll be drifting towards some of the northern parts of the lower peninsula. And then you can see on the upper peninsula some light snow there as well. Looking across the north central U.S. up into the Dakotas, you can see a little bit of light rain, maybe a bit of mixing there in northeast Nebraska and up across north central South Dakota, and then some more light precipitation across parts of Montana, northern Idaho, and Washington. Still seeing some rain showers there. The southwest U.S. under that ridge of high pressure and that heat dome here, they're dry right now. Maybe a few sprinkles across parts of Arkansas. Most of the southeast actually in pretty good shape right now, and it's dry for the northeast U.S. As we take a look at the severe weather outlook from the Storm Prediction Center, we're good today and tomorrow. They don't have anybody outlined for severe or outlooked for severe weather. But by the time we get to day 3, Thursday, they have identified this area here. Remember, there's another strong front that's going to come through our area late Friday, cooling us down for the weekend. But as that front comes into this area back across the Ohio River Valley and the southern part of the Great Lakes there, we could see some stronger storms. And that extends from right around Kansas City in Missouri. You've got this marginal risk along I-70 there, Columbia, Jeff City, back over to St. Louis. Areas extending all the way out through Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. You've got that level 1 risk, what we'd call a marginal risk here in Pennsylvania. Detroit under that marginal risk as well. As you come farther south from central portions of Illinois back through Indiana and Ohio, it's a level 2 or slight risk. So a little bit better chance for storms around Springfield, Illinois, up through Peoria, Effingham, Champaign, Illinois, Kankakee. This was an area that was hit hard by tornadoes earlier in the spring, or I should say late in the winter technically, but you know, a couple weeks ago we had some pretty bad storms here around that part of Illinois. Heading into Indiana, Indianapolis, Lafayette, Bloomington, Muncie, Fort Wayne, all under this level 2 risk is slight risk, and then into Ohio from Dayton over to Columbus and Cincinnati. These areas also under the level 2 threat. Toledo right on the edge. So this is where the storms are most likely to become stronger on Thursday. And we also have to watch for some excessive rainfall down there, Indianapolis through Dayton and Columbus. So these same areas we'll be watching very carefully. And that does extend out that threat for heavier rain all the way out through Pittsburgh and towards Punxsutawney. So we'll see Morgantown, West Virginia, likely to see some potentially heavier rain there as well. So just wanted to update you on that. Now, you know, over the last couple of weeks, there's been a lot of talk since that first fireball streaked across the sky in Pennsylvania and Ohio. But more recently, there was that one that occurred over Houston, basically in Texas, and we've got an update on the Texas meteorite. Remember, the folks spotted that meteor streaking across the Texas sky. It was seen near Houston on Saturday, and now authorities believe it hit a home. We talked a little bit about this, but we're hearing now from that homeowner. Kelvin Henry reports.
Sarah, I'm standing in a home in North Houston. Sherry James is the homeowner, and she said there were some tense moments earlier. Take a look. She says that the meteorite crashed through the ceiling, then hitting the floor. And take a look at this. This is what's left over, a huge foreign object. Take a listen to how she said the day unfolded.
It was very scary at first.
This is not what Sherry James had in her plans.
First, I heard this big bang, and I just thought something fell in my daughter's room. My grandson ran out of his room like, "Nani, what is that?" And I'm like, "I don't know, something in my daughter's room." I said, "Go see what it is." He come back and he said, "Nani, there's a hole in the ceiling."
Sherry says she then ran upstairs and saw the damage. Shortly after, she saw a big foreign object in her house. She says she called first responders. They came over and they thought the big object fell off of a plane. She says they came back and told her they think it's a meteor. She says she just recently had her roof done. Now she is wrapping her head around what happened and also planning repairs. After what she calls a once-in-a-lifetime incident, she says she is making an important purchase tonight.
Are you going to play the lottery now?
I'm going as soon as y'all leave.
Yeah, that's the odds of being hit by a meteor is about the same as winning the lottery. So that was crazy. But you saw it. You saw the damage it did. A pretty wild story there. All right, this was another one that was streaking across the sky. And you remember, this was the one that occurred just days before that one in Texas. So this was the big one that came across portions of Ohio, and it was seen in Pennsylvania as well. Now, that boom could be heard in a number of states, from Pennsylvania to New York, and we're showing you video near Pittsburgh, which shows a bright streak in the sky. Our sister station in Toledo also shared this picture with us, which shows a possible piece of that meteor found in Medina County. All right, we're going to turn our attention to Hampton Roads now, and we'll bring you back down to earth. Yesterday's high 73. That actually occurred early in the morning. Temperatures fell off through the afternoon. It's been a while since we've had any significant rain. We're going to see a chance again Friday night. So we will see if we do get, I believe we'll see light to moderate showers. Probably not a drought buster, but hopefully some soaking rain. We're 1.7 inches below average. So our normal high is 62. We could use a little bit of rain right now. The area is dry across the region. You get down into North Carolina, southern parts of Virginia Beach and Chesapeake. We've got moderate drought. We also have some moderate drought up on the eastern shore. As you can see, the winds are still a bit gusty. We've been talking about that. The temperatures are in the low 40s right now. It is a cooler day. Highs today only in the mid to upper 40s. These temperatures down about 15 to 20 degrees from this time yesterday. You see that blue. You remember yesterday, if you watched, it was this area, and I said it's coming, and it has. Now we're seeing temperatures starting to warm up relative to the previous day back across the central U.S., and that's what's coming tomorrow. So temperatures cool today, mid to upper 40s. We are seeing a lot of sunshine and some fair weather clouds out there. The temperature trend does call for warming through the weekend. Another front drops through Friday, and that triggers the showers and then lowers temperatures for Saturday into Sunday. We start to recover, and temperatures should be above average for most of the following week. So it's really not going to be that cold for very long, but certainly cool today, and it looks like it's going to be chilly again on Saturday. It looks like it's also going to be wetter than normal from the central U.S., Great Lakes region, all the way down through Texas. You'll notice here in Hampton Roads, we should be near normal, and that holds true for most of the East Coast, also Southern California, near normal for precip. Temperatures look above normal for pretty much the entire U.S. Maine has been a little bit below average. They've been in that cool side for a while, so they continue there. Small craft advisories are up as we check in with the Thompson Creek Window Company. The sky view at the ocean front. Not a lot of folks out at the beach with temperatures in the 40s right now and windy conditions at the airport. Northeast winds at 18 miles per hour. So the small craft advisories are up. You just got to look at how rough the wave action is. You don't want to mess with that. As we take a little closer look at our area, we've got a few clouds out there. In general, temperatures mid to upper 40s near the coast. A few inland areas close to 50. Overnight, another chilly one, but tomorrow we start to warm it up. We'll be in the upper 50s to low and mid 60s across the region, and then into the 70s as we go past that. So we will start to warm things up as we get into Thursday and Friday. Across the region, you'll find those warmer conditions inland, cooler at the coast, up around Williamsburg, 50, 48 at Hampton, 46 at Cape Charles, mid 40s at the Outer Banks, and temperatures upper 40s to low 50s inland. All right, we'll take a look at the 7-day forecast. Here you go. The temperatures will be climbing through Friday, then cooler behind the front. There will be good chances for showers late Friday, light showers for the most part, with some moderate rain overnight Friday night. And then early Saturday, it should clear out, making for a nicer weekend. That's going to do it for this edition of the Weather Desk. I hope you've enjoyed it. We'll see you next time. Stay tuned.